Joe Nathan, welcome to my channel. My name is Stefania if you're new here. So today we are going to be using Overhyped YouTube products. So if I can remember who recommended them, I will mention them. This is not hate because I obviously like their channel because I watch them. They're just products that I should have thought more about, whether that was my preference or not. And we're just going to do a full face of makeup that I kind of wish I didn't get and walk you through it. So hopefully you guys are interested in this video. Please don't forget to subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Come be part of the family. You know, it's Thanksgiving tomorrow, so be nice and subscribe. That's what I'm saying. And maybe I'll wear this look. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this video. Okay, let's hop in. So just quick disclaimer, we'll kind of talk as we go through these. I will mention if I remember who recommended these. If not, they were just like overly hyped and I got super excited. So we just take everything with a grain of salt. Makeup is all preference, you know what I mean? And I'll kind of explain like why I bought some of these. So let's start off with primer first. I pulled out a few. So these are just kind of me going over products that I don't use. Like this one I've used quite a bit. This is the coconut primer from Marc Jacobs. It's supposed to be super hydrating. I don't find it to be that hydrating. Like I found other ones that I like a little bit better. And then the same with the backlight, like from Becca, like I just don't love it. Like I believe this one is more like that silicone-y type feel. And I've just realized like even the Hourglass Veil Primer, I don't love those. So, and then who remembers this guy? Because I feel like the Milk Makeup Blur Stick was like everywhere. And I don't know if I just need to like this one, I just feel like I just didn't see a difference. So let's go ahead and get started. I believe the Coconut Primer, Alana Davison loves this one. And I'm not saying it's a bad one by any means. It's just not my favorite. It always squirts out like that gross, I think it's also the color. It's just, I'm just like, I don't know if I want to put that on my face. And it always comes out a little clear at first too, and I'm just always like, ugh. But it's not bad. And I think part of the reason why she likes it is she always combines like multiple products at the same time. I always hate doing my face stuff on camera. Like, look how red my face turns, like, whenever I get started. Like, I don't understand. My face is like, don't touch me. So that's kind of one. And let's do the Milk Makeup Blur Stick just on my pores. But I felt like this was like everywhere when it first came out. And I just constantly was like, is it doing anything? I don't even know. Like, it didn't feel like, compared to like the Touch of Silk Canvas or my, what is it called? The other pore one that I'm really loving right now is the No Pore Blum. I can see a visible difference. This, the only time I kind of like it is when I wear no makeup and it kind of feels like it filters my face a little bit, but I remember everyone being like, this is the product. And then this one is the Huda Beauty Foundation. So I think she is starting to come out with a new formula. I don't hate this by any means. It's just very, very high coverage. It's a thicker foundation, like you guys can see, like it's very much not liquidy. It's a thick foundation, and I don't necessarily like. At the time, I didn't mind it. It's more the fragrance in here that I'm just like, oh geez, like I'll take this off as soon as I'm done filming. But for a while there, I was into it just because my face was breaking out so bad, and I was so embarrassed to be like on camera. And I was just like, how am I going to do beauty? And it was right when I started my channel, and I was just like, my face looks horrible. So I don't use it anymore though. I'm getting really scared of fragrances. And I'm just kind of like, no, don't do it. Gotta get that neck in there. It's the only thing I'm showing today. I definitely bought this when I was no, it's pretty close to my color. We're good. I do love the shade. So I'm excited for her to come out with a new one. And like I said, I'll still use this if I'm having like a horrible day and I really need to like take pictures or something like that. It feels heavy, you know what I mean? So I don't love it. Next we have the Age Rewind Concealer. So I got a shade like way too light for me, which maybe that's probably the issue. I'm not like, and you gotta twist it and twist. Is there anything coming out? Okay, I don't even think I can get anything. A little bit. There we go. I don't hate this. I just don't love it. It's just more like a concealer I would buy for like light coverage days as I'm like piling it on. I know. but I don't want this video to be like 3 hours long. I gotta go back to work. So I just feel like for all that concealer I just put on and blended out, I threw it into my bathroom because I was like, I don't have a wet sponge. It's just not full, like, I don't think it's a bad concealer, but it's just by far not my favorite. I prefer a little bit more coverage. So the only time I really use that is when I'm not wearing any makeup. But I feel like that's a big rave from people. I feel like YouTubers really try hard to be like, look, this is an affordable one, therefore it's great, when it's not so great. So it's just not my favorite, but it's not like I wouldn't recommend it to someone who is looking for a drugstore concealer. But I feel like, especially like Tati videos, there's a lot of products in hers where it's like, I love Tati as a person, but I don't always love her recommendations. For me, the drugstore, I like the Makeup Revolution one a little bit better. It's more similar to higher end brands. But yeah, it's okay. We'll see if maybe I'll change my mind at the end of this video about some of these products. All right, next up we have the Nikkie Tutorials palette. I bought this because of Nikkie Tutorials. This is the Juvia's Place palette. This is the douche. I mean, I don't know. This was definitely more my fault. I watched her video. They were having a sale that day, and I was like, I'm going to try it. You know, and I'm not saying that Juvia's Place shadows, I feel like they are really well made. I just think that, like, I chose the wrong color story in a palette. Like, I got this, and I was literally like, why did I buy this? Like, it's so hard to figure out, like, what's going to go the best. Like, I just can't really create many looks with this. I love minty green, so that's nice. But at the same time, like, I look at this and I'm like, other than the pink, you don't really have a lot of options for like transitions. Like, it's just not a well-rounded palette. So I'm not blaming Juvia's Place. I actually really want to try more of their products. I just haven't. But this is the only thing I've tried, and I'm like, this is my fault. Like, I don't know why I got this. I feel like anytime Nikkie does her makeup, I'm always just like, this is gorgeous. And then I try it and I'm like, then it ain't the same on me. So we are going to use this. And like I said, the shadows really aren't the problem. It's just more like such a weird like color story of a palette. But yeah, what I wanted to say, I can always talk more when I'm doing eyeshadow. That way I don't like waste your time talking for no reason. Also, I feel like this caters, like this transition shade is not really showing up on me at all. This is the shade Berry Mousse, and you don't really have any more options in the palette other than the really dark colors. So I think part of the problem is when I first started really getting into makeup, like I took everybody at their word without even thinking like, what's my preference, right? Like, what do I like out of an eyeshadow palette? What do I like out of foundation? Rather than like, I just kind of was like, oh, they like that, I must like that too. You know what I mean? So I've learned a lot since first starting YouTube videos, you know, but like, did you guys do that when you first started watching? Because I definitely did. I had no idea. Like, I was just kind of like, oh, they recommend this? Okay, I should get that. And now I'm much more like I'm sure there's recommendations that people aren't going to like that I do. So makeup is all preference. That's why I'm saying like, this isn't necessarily anything that I'm like, this is the worst thing ever. There's things that people are going to love and there's things that aren't. It just depends on you. But yeah, so that shade is doing absolutely nothing. We'll go in with Crepes, which is this like deep brown shade. And then maybe like the mint. But the colors just don't, I don't know. It's the color story, which again is my fault. And I think when they first showed like the promo pictures of this palette, like the shades were flipped or something. I can't remember what it was, but it was something weird like that. But yeah, this one was definitely on me. I feel like also because of Nikkie's skin tone and a lot of people's skin tones, like I was always watching like Nikkie Tutorials, Jaclyn Hill, and like, you know, even like Kathleen Lights, which Kathleen is really the only one. I watch Nikkie still sometimes if her video like title interests me. And I really like her, but the theme was I was following people that were a lot paler than I am. And I just realized like, these are not the shades that are going to work on me. They are going to work much better on somebody else. So you guys can see like even this color, like I don't, like the shadow's blending fine and everything, but like this is what I'm getting on my eyes, and it's like almost like a pink, whereas like in the pan it looks so much darker. So I think that was like part of the issue as well. All right, now I'm gonna dip into this shade right here, and maybe we'll pop like the mint green on the lid. Are you guys excited for Thanksgiving? I am in charge of stuffing, just as a side note, which Nick wants like a crock pot stuffing type thing, because we had it at like a Friendsgiving, and now he's like, that was so good. Can you make that one? I'm just like, I don't know. I'll try. I'm kind of just blending over that other color because I didn't love it anyway. Right, I'm going to try to pack a little bit more in. Like you guys can see, like the colors just, I don't know. I do know that a lot of people like love the Masquerade like palette, which I should have got that one. So I take full responsibility on my purchases, and I don't want anyone to think that like I'm saying like they recommend horrible products. It's not that. It's just, you know, I should have been pickier and like really thought about what I would wear. All right, I'm just taking a little bit of that first shade we used just to kind of blend the edges. But yeah, maybe it's like I just thought the colors, like the way they look in the pan, just shows up very differently on my eyes. All right, I'm going to pick up the mint shade of the palette, and I will say the mint is my favorite of this whole palette. The mint is very gorgeous. All right, I'm going to grab the other shade and just kind of put that in the inner corner. But yeah, I mean, it's not terrible. I think it's just like the shades don't blend well into each other. I do want to give Juvia's Place a second chance, like for sure. Like I'm not saying this, like I said, like this is my fault. But just the color story in this just does not work for me. But I still, like, when I need a good mint color, I reach into this palette. So if you have other recommendations, let me know. I zoomed you guys in, though. Quite a few people have recommended this mascara. This is the Kush Milk Makeup Mascara. All these brands, I have products that I really love from them. But this one, it was not it. Like, this mascara just... It's not bad, and I'm really happy I only bought the mini size. I'm pretty sure Jay Kissa recommended this. And I love a lot of Milk makeup products, but this eyelash, like for mascara, it just, I have my CoverGirl, like from the drugstore, that does more for me. Like, I just don't feel like this is worth the money. The eyelash primer, I absolutely love from Milk Makeup, but this, like mascara, I just don't feel like it's just not giving it to me. Okay, so next I'm going to set my face. This is the RCMA No Color Powder. I know that this like originally became really good, like big with like Kathleen Eanes with Kathleen. I don't hate the product. I hate the packaging, which makes me not use the product. And to be honest, like it's not like I notice a huge difference, and maybe this is just because of like, I'm not like a huge setting powder type person where I get like really picky about it, but man, I cannot get this product like out in, it's just a mess. It's a messy product. Like more so than other powders, I don't like the packaging of it. So I literally save it for like Halloween makeup or just like stuff like that, because it's just impossible. Like look how big the holes are. Like it's just impossible. So you just kind of get it out from the cap. But to be honest, it doesn't impress me that much to where I'm just like, oh, I will do the extra work or maybe like put it in a different container. So it's more so the packaging of the product. Yes, it's cheap, which is nice, but I wouldn't really recommend it to anyone. Like it just doesn't wow me. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. Like if the packaging was better, I probably wouldn't be that hard on it, but I've had it for quite a while, and look, I've barely touched it, literally because I'm just like, I now have powder all over my black shirt. Ugh. All right, next let's go in with bronzer. Everybody loves Hoola. I don't love this one. My Hoola Caramel. Oh, I almost dropped my drink. The Hoola Caramel is amazing. I love it so much. like one of my top favorite bronzers of the year, like hands down. But the Hoola, like the original formula, I feel like everybody was just like, you have to get the Hoola bronzer, you know? And I just feel like it's just a touch too light for my skin. Like it just doesn't, it blends out well. It's not the formula's fault. It's just the color. And I don't think it like even mattered who wore it. Everyone was just like, this is the color. And it's just never been my favorite. I also don't nose contour. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's perfect for nose contour. You guys can already tell, like I have freckles down my nose, sunspots. But it just doesn't, like, I just don't do it because people are already like, oh, you messed up your contour. And I'm like, no, that's just my face. So Hoola Caramel, amazing. This one, I feel like it's more suited for lighter skin tones. Like right now, I don't feel very bronzed. I can layer it, but it still just doesn't, it's just not my favorite. All right, next up we have Milani Luminoso. A lot of people recommend this freaking blush. Like I think of like Casey Holmes, Kathleen Lights, like so many people recommend this blush and I don't like it. Again, my fault. I don't like shimmery blushes. And this just, I just feel like it emphasizes every bit of texture on my cheeks. And I don't like it at all. Like the color is gorgeous. It's just the shimmer in it that I just feel like it's just not flattering on me. Not even the color. I just don't like it, okay? All right, I have two highlighting products that I really just, I don't know. One, still my fault. All Over Glow Face Body Shimmer. This is 01 Light from Natasha Denona. This is my fault because I should have known like this shade just wasn't going to work for me. It looks very ashy on me. And the pan looks weird. Like I don't know what happened to the pan. And it's not bad. Okay, now I kind of changed my mind where I'm like, okay, it's actually kind of pretty. But I should have chosen a different shade. But let me show you guys, like, it almost looks like it has, like, mold growing through it. Like, there's little white bumps. I don't know. It's not that old, like some of my other powders, so I don't know what those, like, little white, like, surfacey bumps are. I don't even know if you guys can see them, but I changed my mind right now. It's still not my favorite shade. I should have gotten a darker shade, but I know Tati always raved about this. Nicole Cutler raves about this. Like, I should have just chosen a different shade. The bigger one, though, that I'm like, out of everything in this haul, or this, like, get ready with me, whatever you want to call it. This is the Be Perfect Cosmetics Sub-Zero Highlighting Palette from Mitchell. I hate this palette. I hated it immediately. Like, I don't know. They're just very thick and chunky highlights. And I love Mitchell, and I love a blinding highlight. But the formula of these, they feel weird. They have a very weird texture to them. Like, they look very chalky. So I couldn't return this because it was like, you know, across the way. So it looks blinding and everything, but it's the formula I don't like. It emphasizes texture. I know other highlights emphasize texture as well, but like this one, it just doesn't look good on me. So we're gonna go into Made It. Hopefully you guys, like, I know it looks nice on camera, but I'm telling you, it's not nice. Like, I will, like, show you guys, like, it sits on top of the skin in a very unflattering way. Like, I feel like it's showing up okay on camera, but in person, it's almost uneven and it's just clinging onto, like, little spots. It's not going on in, like, an even way. I have more texture on this side. So you can see just, like, every single pore, it just doesn't blend well. Even when I spray my face, so it's not about spraying at the face. I was a little bit sad with that one because it was expensive and I was really excited about it, but I really haven't reached for it much because I just don't like the way that it looks on my skin. All right, Miss Jaclyn Hill loves blushing beige. I taken her skin tone into account and realized like this was just not going to work for me at all. Like, even with a lip liner, I just look crazy. Like, I don't like this. Like, maybe I'll put it in like the center, like the very, very center when I do a different lip, but it almost leans more like it's just, it's, I don't know what to tell you guys, okay? Nope. Like, I always watch videos where I'm just like, I want that nude lip, and then I get the nude lip, and I'm like, it's not a nude lip for me. Why did I do that? Like, so I've learned a lot now when it comes to lipsticks. Obviously not that much, because I feel like my Sephora haul, like I got that shade from Lawless, and I was like, nope. But I feel like I looked up a lot of pictures, and it looked like it was gonna work. This one, I got excited, especially because it was from the drugstore, which that's another thing. Like, now I don't shop I still shop at the drugstore, but I shop for myself at the drugstore. I don't really follow recommendations, because I feel like, you want to be a good YouTuber and recommend things that are more affordable, but that doesn't always mean that they're good products or that they're like the best products. You know what I mean? So I kind of take things now with a grain of salt when it comes with drugstore items. I go in store and try to swatch and test things out for myself, rather than, believing everybody, especially bigger ones. I just have that inkling where I'm just like Jeffree Star, he tests out e.l.f. products, right? And I'm like, oh, that's nice. Like, he's testing out something that's affordable, but like, that doesn't mean he knows how it sits on the skin for hours. He probably wore it for those hour when he did the video and then never touched it again. I'm not saying I know that. I don't know that. He doesn't call me at home, but that's what I think. So I do take a lot of that stuff with a grain of salt, where I'm like, just because you put it on and look pretty for 5 minutes doesn't mean it set well or it wore well or anything like that. So I try to keep that in mind when I'm doing more affordable options as well. That's why I don't do a full face most of the time of affordable drugstore. There's little gems that I'm always like, ooh, that's an amazing product. But I don't just try to say it for the sake of saying it. Like, look, I'm trying to, appeal to more people. Like, I don't like that. So my last one, I'm really sad about. I love Sauterie. But this gloss is just not great. This is Brillo. I think that's how you say it, right? It's pretty and it looks pretty, but I can feel all of the chunks of glitter in this gloss, which is like, Dose of Color is my favorite gloss formula, like one of my top favorites. But I think with the shimmer, it just does not, it's the texture of this. It's not the color. I really like her collections with ColourPop and her palettes, but just this shade in particular, like, I love the shade Peachy that she came out with in this collection. It's literally just this glitter one where I feel like I'm sandpapering my lips. All right, guys, so this is the finished look. I thought about doing my hair, and then I was like, no, I'm just not going to. I gotta go back to work in an hour. So, and I'm gonna take all this makeup off. I don't actually hate the way my look turned out. I mean, definitely I need a lip liner, but I'm still like, I still hold true to everything I just said. Like, I probably won't use these products again, and I should just declutter them for sure. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. What are products that were recommended to you, that you bought? Like, everything is preference, so please don't get your feelings hurt if I pulled out something that you really like. That is totally fine. I love products that people don't love, and, makeup is whatever you want it to be. So that is it from me. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Because I know highlights emphasize texture. I used to smile like this in all my pictures growing up, and now I'm always like, the hell was I thinking? This is why I don't do the intro videos where it's just like the cute, like, smile. I'm just sitting here like,